Yes, yes. What's going on, guys? My name is Eddie Tranzcendent, and you're tuned in to the Transcendent Outlook podcast. Specifically, this is the Lion Soundtrack series. And today, I'm really excited to bring to you a conversation with Andrea. Andrea is the president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Bridgeport, and I'm really excited to bring her up to talk to her, to get to know her, for you guys to get to know her, and to also get to know about all the amazing things that the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has coming up in this year of 2024. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and bring up Andrea and get this conversation going.
Good
Andrea,
evening. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited to be here.
No, listen, I'm excited to have you here. Sorry to have to make you wait through all those commercials and whatnot, but there's just so much going on, and I want people to make sure that they know and that they understand that there's a lot of great people doing great things in Bridgeport, and we have to, we have to support, and we have to check them out. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely. There's great things happening as you just mentioned, and there's a wonderful group of people of all different backgrounds doing amazing things for the community
Of
in the greater
course.
Bridgeport area. So I appreciate the fact that you give everybody a space here in your podcast so that other people get to know us, get to know about the organizations that we represent, and how they can get connected and how they can benefit from some of the benefits we offer.
No, of course. Of course, and I love that you bring that up in terms of different people with different backgrounds. I don't want anybody to ever think that this is just for Latinos. This
Right.
particular series is the Lion soundtrack, so of course it's focused on Latinos. But overall, anybody who's doing something great, whether it's in Bridgeport or not in Bridgeport, it doesn't matter where it is. The point is to highlight folks who are doing great things.
Absolutely. I think that access to resources and education is something that our communities, the multi background communities, often lack. So, giving them the opportunity to learn a little bit more through a podcast certainly is a way to get some very valuable information disseminated across.
No, most definitely. I agree. I agree. But enough of that. Let's talk about you, Andrea. Listen, I'm really excited to talk to you tonight, because I've seen a lot of the work that the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has been doing the last few years. Um, I see the excitement. I see the movement on social media. I see the support that you guys are offering. A lot of the organizations and businesses in the Greater Bridgeport area, and so I'm excited to hear more about that. But before we go there, I would love to hear more about you. Who is Andrea, and where'd you come from?
Thank you, Eddie. So my name is Andrea Torres-Fodor. I am the proud, president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Bridgeport. That is a labor of love that happens between me and a bunch of different board members. Over the past year, I have had the opportunity to sit in this position and really do my very best, along with the wonderful group of board members, to kind of move the needle in the right direction. I was born and raised in Quito, Ecuador,
Mm,
in 1985, and migrated to the United States at the age of 15 when I was in the year 2000.
mm.
Landed in Shelton, Connecticut, didn't speak a single word of English. But, through it all, I was able to graduate from high school, moved on to college. I'm a Housatonic Community College grad. I got my
Mm.
associate's degree from them, and then moved on to Sacred Heart University, where I got my bachelor's degree. My day job is in banking. I have been in banking for most of my career. Banking afforded me the opportunity to do both, go to
Mm.
school and get myself a career at the same
Yes.
time. So I'm very thankful to my profession. I currently work as a business relationship banker for Newtown Savings Bank, and one of the areas that I focus and that I cover for what I do is the Bridgeport, Shelton, Monroe, and Danbury area. So that's just a little snippet of who I am. From 9 to 5 and 5 to 10, and all around. That's just a little bit about me.
No, of course, of course. Now, you said that when you came here at the age of 15, you landed in Shelton. Um, was there any particular reason why your family chose Shelton? Was family already there? Was there work there? And I'm only asking because I asked my parents the same question. Why did you guys come to Bridgeport? And
Right.
they came to Bridgeport in the early '80s, and it was because of the work. There was a lot of work here, so that's why they came here. Is there any reason why your parents chose Shelton?
Well, so the reason why my family decided to move to the United States is because my father, when I was in Ecuador, my father held a position of leadership at a pharmaceutical company. At the
Okay.
time, it was SmithKline Beecham, and then at the time, and then during that period of time, there was a big merger. Glaxo and SmithKline merged, so my dad was given, a severance package, and then now he had the decision to either, do something with it within the Ecuador or move on to the United States.
Okay.
Since I remember, since I was a small child, I always wanted to see the world and go to school elsewhere. So as a good old Latin father, he said, well, no daughter of mine at the age of 15 is not with me. We're going to move to the United States. And my father is one of five children. Three
Okay.
of his siblings lived in Shelton at the time. So it was just like the
Okay.
natural, place to go. My aunts and uncles were certainly very supportive of us at the beginning when my parents moved here, and that is why Shelton, Connecticut, ended up being our home. I was one of
Mm.
the of very few Latinos at the time in Shelton High School, but I think that now the background, the makeup of the school has changed a little bit, and I
Yeah.
think that's a positive thing. But back then, there were many.
I could imagine. I could imagine. Now you're I'm Puerto Rican. I was born here, but I'm Puerto Rican. And I know enough to know that schooling in Puerto Rico consists of teaching the English language, right? Particularly because of our what do you call it, relationship with the United States, right?
Yeah.
Did you learn, because you speak English really well? Did you learn English in your country, or was it here?
I did not. So I thought I knew how to speak English. My father did pay for some special, English courses when we were
Yeah,
in Ecuador. But I very quickly found out when I landed in Shelton High School that trousers was not the known world for pants around here. I used
yeah.
to attend the British Council back in Ecuador, and the English that I was being taught um, was really not the conversational English that I needed in order to be, effective here in the United States. So um, it was not an easy time, but it was
Yeah.
not, it was not something that I wasn't able to handle. Being a 15-year-old girl, coming from an all girls Catholic school into the public setting in the Shelton High School was certainly a culture shock. Yet, with all things being considered, I am thankful that at the time there wasn't an ESL program in my school, because it
Oh, okay.
forced me it forced me to
Mm,
know and to find a way to communicate. I have always been someone who wanted to make sure that my voice is heard, even since I
yes.
was a little girl. So the only way that I was able to accomplish that in Shelton High School was to very quickly learn how to speak English. So you
Yes.
know, it was a win-win for me. Can't complain.
No, most definitely, most definitely. I love that. And so you ended up in banking, and it was a blessing for you because it allowed you to do a lot of what you want to do.
For
But
sure.
how did you end up in banking? Was that the plan, or?
No, the plan was not that. I actually, I mentioned, based on what you were mentioning before. So in Ecuador, the schooling is done slightly different. When you are
Okay,
in ninth grade, you are given the opportunity to kind of have a focus of study. You can
okay.
focus on studying science, math and physics, or literature. Depending
Mm,
on what you do, that's the trajectory of your college education, right? So I
yeah,
was the math and physics like subject, specialty.
yeah.
When I came to the United States, it was very interesting because my transcripts had enough credits to truly graduate other than English, just
Uh,
because of the number of subjects that we were being taught in Ecuador. Now, I certainly don't think I was, smarter than anybody else or anything like that. It was just the number of credits given to me here when they did the transcript was just
okay.
something silly. But anyway, um, I because I had focused on physics and mathematics, my goal and what my guidance counselor thought I would do best at was actually to become an architect or an engineer.
Mm,
I was very lucky, very, very, very lucky. I connected with the family very early on when I was young. The Harbinson family, the owners of IDA International in Derby, Connecticut.
okay.
Um, their story is unique because the father Bob, somebody who I very much love and have loved for a very, very long time. He was an immigrant from Ireland who
Mm.
started from, I don't know the exact amount of change he had in his pocket, but the story was something like he came from Ireland with like $30 in his pocket and turned his American dream into a very big successful business. So I worked right out of high school with them, and then Bob offered to pay for my education at Fairfield University to become
Oh,
a mechanical engineer. I was accepted at the time. My legal status was pending. There was some
oh,
some some questions that needed to be answered, and some items that needed to be resolved. So because of the bureaucracy of the immigration system at the time, I had to say no, thank you. I cannot go to school and become an engineer. I have to follow a different path. But
yeah,
I'm a person of faith, and I believe that God had best wishes and intentions for me. And here I
of
am, a
course.
banker for many, many years. So my adult career has really been in banking, and that has been a true blessing for me.
Wow, that's amazing, amazing, amazing. And you said 20 years in banking?
I don't know how many years in banking. Now
Oh,
you're
okay.
now
Oh,
you're
I'm sorry. I'm
asking the
sorry.
banker to do
Oh,
math. You're trying
oh.
to put me in the spot.
I'm
I
sorry, man.
started I started in 2006, I believe, and
Oh, so yeah, so about 18, yeah, 17, 18
yeah,
years. Yeah,
yeah.
no, that
And the reason why I ended up there, Eddie, is I was going to school at Housatonic Community College. It was
yeah.
my senior year. Well, my senior year, my second year at Housatonic, and I had my finals, and I got laid off from my job at the time, the day of my
Mm,
final. So I wasn't able to make it to class. My teacher very kindly reached out to me and says, this is kind of out of character for you. What happened? So I explained to her, and she said, you know what? That's a really difficult thing to go through. I will give you the opportunity to retake the test. And, I'm not promising you anything, but feel free to share with me your resume. So I had gotten laid off. I don't know the exact date, but it was earlier in December.
yeah,
Whenever exam time is in college, I can't even think.
yeah.
A few weeks, maybe a week or so before, a week or two before Christmas,
Yeah.
and then I was hired at People's United Bank at the time,
Mm,
on January the 6th of the following
okay.
year. So things worked out.
No, yeah, no, most definitely, and that was the beginning of it all.
Yes, you
Now
definitely were.
now, were you always interested in getting involved in the community, and nonprofits, or was it something like that again happened because of your work at the bank? It kind of just made sense.
There was always an aptitude in me that led to service. I come
Yeah.
from, my father, my mother, my grandparents, my family in general has always been a family that served others. That is
Mm,
just kind of like what was taught in us. Banking allowed for that part of me to flourish, and for it gave me the opportunity to truly be able to work both things at the same
mhm,
time. And that has certainly been one of the biggest blessings of this career that I have chosen. So being an active member of the community, and being able to support those who might be in a similar path, or with whom I have some sort of similarities, is definitely something that uh, fulfills me in a way that is very, very, very special.
no, that I definitely agree with that, and I think that's why a lot of us do it, right?
Right.
There's a fulfillment that we feel from serving the community, and so when you first started getting involved in the community, what were you doing?
Very early on, I was just the average, branch manager going to an after hours networking event,
Mm,
trying to
yeah.
figure out how to work a room, how to get to connect to people, how to like not just be there for the sake of the free drink and the apps, but to really make a difference.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when I moved and started working for Newtown Savings Bank, the territory that I cover now was slightly closer to home. So I felt that it was
Mm,
a good time for me to really become more aggressive, if that's the right word, into seeking an organization that will fulfill both. Give me the ability to serve the community that I'm a part of, become a leader that can provide some guidance to others
Yes.
who might be coming up the ranks, and also benefit from that, from my 9 to 5 job. A good marriage of the two, if
Yes.
you may. And
Yeah.
at the time, I reached out to Clodomiro Falcon, who,
Mm.
if you guys know, has been a beacon and the face of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce
Yes.
for many years, I believe. Well, I believe he's been there since inception. So
Yes.
in 1972 was the first year that the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, kind of opened its doors. The
Okay.
original name for the Hispanic Chamber was the Spanish Merchant Association of Greater Bridgeport.
Okay.
Um, and that organization was really just created so that Latino-owned businesses and business leaders can get together and start to know to advocate for each other, and see how things can move in the right direction for them, and how to get in an even playing field with all the other businesses in the area. Um, so once I connected with Clodomiro, he was, of course, as kind as he always is, and very warm. And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
went out to lunch to a very nice restaurant, I recall, in Stratford, and that was it. He said, "Come on in," and then I connected with the rest. At the time, Marisol Herrera was the president,
Yes.
and
Yes.
under her leadership, I was able to see a great transformation on the activity and in the trajectory of the chamber. So I'm
Yeah.
thankful that I came in when I did.
Yeah, no, I have to agree because I think that it was once Marisol Herrera became president of the that's when we that was when you kind of saw like in you started to see more of the Hispanic chamber out in the community, right?
Yeah.
And so I have to agree that that before that, I mean, and that was around the time when I started getting involved in the community as well. But I remember specifically hearing about her. I didn't know her yet, but a good friend of mine, Carolyn Gonzalez, introduced me to her one day, and and then and then I started to see her more, see the organization more, and then that's when I kind of started to understand that hey, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is here, and they're making some noise, and so it was great to see just the work that you guys were doing. Um, so when you originally get involved with the organization, what are you doing? Are you kind of just
I
helping
was a
out,
board
or
member.
okay,
I
okay,
came in, part of the process to become an active board member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is you need to send your resume,
hmm,
a letter of explanation as to why you wish to become an active part of the board, and then the board
yeah,
does their due diligence. They review your credentials. And then determine whether or not it will be a good fit, and if you can be welcome onto the board. So I came in, and then I, very quickly became, Marisol's right hand. And together, along with the rest of the team, we were able to kind of start moving the needle in the right direction. Um, COVID happened.
mm,
And
of
as
course,
you and the rest of the world knows, COVID sort of put things into a very unique place. But
yes.
soon after COVID ended, we decided to continue and to highlight what now has become one of our staple events of the year, and that is the Business Expo and Business After Hours, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, between the month of September 15th through October 15th. So
Now, in terms of the chamber, and perhaps back when when it was the Spanish Merchants Association of Greater Bridgeport, um, was the mission then, if you know, was the mission then what it is now, or has the mission changed?
I think that the mission has always been sort of the same, maybe
Yeah,
not worded in the exact same words,
of
but
course.
to find a place where we can promote the economic growth of the Latino community, of the Latino-owned businesses in the area. The goal has always been to provide a platform for the members to connect, to collaborate, to
Of
educate
course.
themselves, to grow, and to really kind of connect with others, right? Very
Yes.
similar to what you were just mentioning. We are the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Bridgeport, and we are pro Latino, Latinx owned businesses, but we're not exclusive to Latino
Yes.
businesses. We
Of course.
welcome all. As a matter of fact, we have members from all across the state. We have some strong supporters that come from Woodbury, from the Hartford area, New Haven. We the goal is ultimately to give all of our small and micro businesses the opportunity to kind of educate themselves, get themselves in the place where they need to be, ready to then have those conversations, get in the discussion, have the ability to create business to business, opportunities with other members within the chamber and also with other chambers. um, Over the past couple of years, we have built very strong collaborative relationships with the BRBC,
Hmm.
with the Black Chamber of Commerce, and with the Valley Chamber as well. I've been very lucky to have met and built very, very strong, partnerships with the executive directors of each one of those chambers. And one of the most recent events that we had, which was a 1 year anniversary of Maximum Nutrition, a business that is located in Shelton.
Hmm.
We promoted it, and we did this event in collaboration with the Valley Chamber, which was really, really special to me. um, because, as I had mentioned to you, and as you know, unidad y progreso is what we really believe. We want to be united in progress. Unidad y progreso means we want to be together and we want to grow together, and we realize that with collaboration with others we can do more. So, our goal is always to strive to expand our opportunities to not just ourselves but to others, and the collaborations that we're having with other chambers in the area are certainly making a difference.
Now with the uh I don't know what the correct word would be, but with the amount of people um uh really taking in and honing in on the idea of being an entrepreneur, right? This is something that we have had entrepreneurs around forever, but maybe the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, it's been like a big blow up of entrepreneurs, right? People want to be their own
Right.
business owners, they want to do their own thing, right? And it's something that we didn't see as much perhaps when the organization was first built, right? And when you talk about the 1 year anniversary that you did in Shelton, that particular business is owned, by Gina, who's an entrepreneur herself, right? And so I wonder, is the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, um, their mission, in terms of working with entrepreneurs, how has that changed the mission? Um, I, I, let me try to word the let me try to like word the question a little better, right? With all these entrepreneurs kind of coming up, what is the chamber doing different to be able to attract them, and to be able to connect with the entrepreneurs?
What we are doing is we are being active in the way that the new generation is active, right? So we have an active Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn page.
Yeah.
And the key thing that we're doing is that we really are going out of our way to make sure that we educate those who come to our doors, the people that call us. I literally had a conversation earlier this week with a young person who was referred to us by a fellow member of the chamber. And this young person came to me and he said, I want to start my business and start selling things, um, online. I believe, and this is just my personal belief, I believe the social media has created a wonderful opportunity for many people to learn a little bit more about things that they would have never known before.
Yeah.
Yet, in the same breath, it has given some people the license to think that a 30-second snippet from TikTok or from Instagram, it gives them all the information they need in order to be successful and to be
Yeah.
proficient in what they're doing. So the education piece comes from the Hispanic Chamber when they come in and they sit down with us and they're like, "Oh, I want to do this, 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 and this, and this," and then we're like, "That's wonderful. We're here to support you. Yet let me teach you a little bit about what it means to have an LLC, why you
Yeah.
should have an LLC or you shouldn't, why you should connect with a person that is a CPA or an accounting firm that really has some credibility and behind them and that knows what they're doing, because the 30-second commercial you just heard on Instagram is likely not going to be the same scenario that you have in front of you. So education has been key. One of the things that we do is, um, we would definitely do education and training. So many of the
Okay.
clients that come in and see me or Eva or other members like Clodomiro, Eva, I, several of ours, we think of them as, members of the chamber first, and we provide them with services that would otherwise
Okay.
cost them money, right? So if
Yes.
there is a brand new entrepreneur who needs to set up a new LLC, if you go to ABC Accounting on Main Street in Bridgeport, I'm just making it up,
Yeah. Yeah.
you will likely get charged, for their services anywhere between $500 to $750, right? If you come to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we will guide you. We will teach you what you need to do. We will give you the guidance that you need in order to be able to do so. And we will help you do that online on your own and not having to spend the additional cost for the service versus
Yeah.
just paying the annual membership, annual dues that are required with the Secretary of the State. So that is the way in which we are specifically making a difference with our members. I recently also referred. Uh, I recently also referred a business, one of our smaller micro businesses, to another business that is a member of the chamber, and then very quickly found out that this person that does um, cleaning had not gotten they're still doing business, they're very successful, but they're not properly set up as a business entity. They don't have all of the items that they should have. So it was a wonderful opportunity for me to reach out and say, listen, I noticed A, B, and C as a member of the chamber. Just know that these are the sort of things that we can help you navigate through, and give you guidance as to how you should move forward. And that was a very appreciative phone call that we realized. So one of the key things is the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce currently serves the small and micro businesses. And at
Mm.
this level, there is a lot of misinformation. There is a lot of
Yes.
lack of education. There is a lot of
Hmm.
lack of knowledge. And one of the main focus and one of the main reasons behind our proactive approach of education and being out in the community, let them know what we can do for them, is that we want to make sure that our members are able to compete at the same level field as everybody else. But in
Of
order to
course.
do so, they need to be set up and have the basics down.
Now this is all great. Because by the way, I had no idea that you guys were doing this. Now is this? It sounds like a lot of this has been kind of like on a case by case kind of scenario. Are you have you guys, or are you guys thinking of perhaps scheduling some classes or some
I
webinars
am
on
I
this
am
kind of
so
stuff?
thankful that you actually answered that question. As I had mentioned to you before, one of the strengths that we have is that we enjoy collaboration with other organizations. And
Of course.
I don't want to spill the beans yet, but I did get confirmation from the executive director from SAMA just a couple of days ago. We agreed upon SAMA and the Hispanic Chamber together are going to be offering once a month an opportunity for small businesses to kind of meet in person with
Mm.
Clodomiro Falcon
Hmm.
at a location to be disclosed in Bridgeport, so that
Yeah.
people can get all of this sort of guidance done in person at a location that is neutral, especially here in the city of Bridgeport. So, again, together we can do more. This is a great
Of course.
example of how we are doing so. We have created a calendar of events for the rest of the year that was literally just approved a couple of days ago by our board.
Yes.
And if you start to look into our website within the next 7 to 10 business days, you will find all of the different items and all of the different seminars that will be available to the community, to members and non-members of the Hispanic Chamber, both in person and via Zoom in the upcoming months.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And please, when you have an idea of location and dates and whatnot, make sure you share with me as well, so we can
Of
make sure
course.
we put it on a GBLN e blast and make sure it gets out there. Because I think that I think one of the biggest issues we have is that there's great things happening, and then there's people who need those great things, but
But they
then
don't know
it's
about
the
it.
connecting part, right? And
Yes.
so just share with me, send it to me, and we'll make sure that we blast it out to our following as well.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. We appreciate that.
no,
And
of
and
course. That
to your
Go ahead.
point, Eddie, that is one of the things that the Hispanic Chamber focuses on. As you can see, a lot of the content that we provide in our Instagram page specifically, because we notice that is the way that the majority of our members connect with us, and through the stories on Facebook, is we share when we are browsing through our page and we find out that that your organization is having an event, then we will
Hmm.
share it
Of
so that
course,
then people who might not have known that otherwise can
of course.
attend. So the number, the power is in the number of shares and the number of opportunities people have to be made aware of of something that they can benefit from.
Of course, no, of course. And while we're at it, I want to go ahead and just let folks, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to Spotify, wherever you're at, if we could go ahead and maybe share with them the different ways in which they can get in contact with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Of course, if you want to get involved with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we encourage you to visit our website at www.hccgb.org. That is www.hccgb.org. Or you can email us at info@hccgb.org. Those are the two best ways to connect with us. We also have a phone number if you would like to give us a call. That phone rings on my cell phone. So anytime you need something, feel free to give us a call. The phone number at which you can reach us is 203-290-1836. Once again, 203-290-1836.
And again, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're walking on a treadmill, don't worry about it. If you go down to the description of this video or this audio, all the information will be right down there for you to be able to find it. Now, Andrea, let's talk a little bit about how folks can get involved um with the chamber. I mean, of course, yes, they can go on the website and they can call and whatnot. But in terms of folks who maybe want to volunteer, is that something that you guys look for? Folks who maybe they have a few hours a week or what it is to help out.
Absolutely. We actually most recently just onboarded two new board members
Oh, okay.
to the board of directors. Both of those people are incredible. Their leadership skills and their capabilities among the community and in their specific industries are amazing. So if you are somebody that is interested in truly making a difference in the Latino community and you wish to help us move the needle in the right direction, email us, send us your resume, connect with
Okay.
one of us, and let us know that you wish to be part of the board or part of the committees that manage different projects, right? So within our organization, we have a committee that is responsible for marketing, right? That we have a
Mm.
committee that is responsible for events. We have a committee that is responsible for social media and outreach. There's always opportunities for us to do more. Specifically in the month of October, as I had mentioned earlier in our podcast, we have the Hispanic Heritage Month Business Expo and Business After Hours event, and that is a big event that requires a lot of hands. We
Yes.
often are looking for volunteers. This last year, we were able to get over 20 volunteers that came from a
Oh,
variety of
wow.
different backgrounds. Some of them came from the prime sponsor, which was M&T Bank. But we always are welcoming opportunities to volunteer at events like that. We are going to have the very first annual, because our goal and our desire is to make this an annual event, a speed networking event happening at Housatonic Community College on
Mm.
Thursday, May the 30th. And during that event, you're gonna find a lot of Latin flair and fun networking happening. Think of speed dating. If you've ever gone speed dating, think of speed dating, but for business. So um, we're excited about that event coming up. We are finalizing the sponsors for the event, and as soon as that flyer is ready, I will be disseminating that to you, Eddie, so that you can
Of
support
course.
us and help us. Share that with your group.
Of course, of course, of course. There's no doubt about that. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the expo. Because let me say, I've been to the expo a few times. I participated in the expo last year, and it's such a great event. So much fun. I mean, it's food, people, music, just great vibes. That when I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, what are they gonna do next year? Because it's almost like how can you top it, right? I mean, it's just so good. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Tell us, what are you guys looking forward to for 2024? Aside from these two events, is there anything else?
We're thinking of a variety of things. Like the partnership with Sama is one of those things that is
Okay.
going to significantly make a difference. We're also
Yes.
going to be providing with CDF is one of our partners, and M&T Bank, obviously one of our sponsors. They're going to be providing some one-on-one training once a quarter in the east side of Bridgeport, connecting
Okay.
with one of the local businesses, one of the CPA firms that can then, provide us with the space for us to be able to serve the community and do more. I don't wish to go into more details because
No.
I want the updates to come up on the website, and I want to encourage all of you to please visit our website, and then you will be able to find those events. At the end of the year, we are going to have partnership with Newtown Savings Bank, who's going to be doing some in-person seminars, teaching us about different items. And we are continuing to work with the Small Business Administration, the Connecticut SBDC, CDF, SAMA.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I'm forgetting to remember is this year, once again, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is partnering up with the Commissioner of Banking, the Office of the Commissioner of Banking. And in May 8th at Housatonic Community College, we're going to be also partnering them with them and hosting the Meet the Bankers event. This
Mm.
event is unique. The Commissioner of Banking is really focused on making sure that the access to capital is made available to all, especially to the Latino community, to the community of the Black community, the multi-background community.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, access to capital is not something that is taught the way that we are raised, is to like work, 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 and just pay for
Yeah.
everything cash. But the fact is that when you continue to grow and your business is expanding, you often need the partnership of a financial institution that can provide you with the ability to grow your business, lend you some money so that you can move on to the next step. Um, the Commissioner of Banking's goal, and all of us who partner with him, we want to make sure that all of those banks and financial institutions are made themselves available to the public. So May 8th for sure at Housatonic Community College is going to be a big event, and that is one of the big things that is coming up in partnership with the Hispanic Chamber.
That's exciting. I'm super excited. And it looks like you guys have a lot coming up, which is great. Today the weather was so nice, and
I
you could
know.
you could already feel it's coming, and all the events are coming, and it's gonna be a busy summer. So I'm really excited for it. Um, Andrea, we got to learn about you, learn about your work, learn about the organization. And before we go, I want to bring it right back to you, right? I want to bring it right back to you, and I want to ask you a couple of questions,
Tell me.
kind of personal, but no, nothing too crazy. But just some questions that I like to ask my guests, just to kind of leave off on a nice, on a nice vibe, right? And so the first question is gonna be, what's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish.
Yes.
You're not gonna believe this, but literally before I came here, so my territory covers, as a banker, as a business relationship banker for Newtown Savings Bank, I covered Danbury,
Okay.
Bridgeport, Shelton, and Monroe. Danbury happens
Okay.
to be the heaviest populated city of Ecuadorian nationals in the state of
Yeah.
Connecticut. I am
Okay.
Ecuadorian, and a cousin of mine texted me. He goes, we were talking a while back, and he's like, there's this place where you can go and find everything Ecuador, right? And I was like, oh, well, now I have to go visit. If you have never had black clams from
Okay.
Ecuador, you should do that. I went to this plaza on my way home from work today. And as I went to the fish market, I found black clams. My mouth dropped. I had not eaten these in a long, long time. I ordered 2 dozen of them. I did not realize how expensive they were going to be, but they were great. And right before I came, my mom made me ceviche de concha ecuatoriana. So I was very, very happy. I enjoy seafood. Seafood is one of those things that I very much enjoy. And
Okay.
ceviche de concha today made my day, man. It was awesome. It was great.
I've been to to La Concha in Denver. It's a super nice place. And they have it's a really big place, so they have like events there and whatnot.
So
If
actually, the place where I went,
oh, sorry.
it was a market.
Oh,
It's an
okay, okay.
Ecuadorian market called La Placita, I believe.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
okay.
I went there because my cousin said that the bakery was amazing. So he
Yeah.
took me into the bakery. But then as I kept going down the aisle, all of these wonderful things from my childhood started to show up, and I was like, take it, take it, take it.
Let's go, let's go.
Once I realized how much I spent, I was like, it doesn't matter, it's fine. We'll make this work. But yes, so today, right before this podcast, I was able to enjoy ceviche de concha ecuatoriana, so that was wonderful.
I love it. All right, all right, all right. That's amazing. Okay, now let's go. Let's talk music. What's your favorite genre of music?
You know, I literally was just talking about this with my husband and with a friend of mine. I have a very good friend. Her name is Jasmine. She's Puerto Rican, born, raised in Puerto Rico, moved to the States, ended up back in Puerto Rico. And she said something so funny. She goes, Andrea, for 20 something years, I lived in the United States and I was Puerto Rican. I'm back in Puerto Rico and I happen not to be Puerto Rican. You know, I'm a freaking hybrid, right? So I could not have identified more with her in that you know the a statement. I am a perfect hybrid. You know, I came to the United States when I was 15 years old. I was already a teenager.
Yeah.
So some of the music that I enjoy is like old Latin rock and
Okay.
old Latin reggaeton, like all Latin music. I very much enjoy Andrea Bocelli. I went to his concert a couple of
Okay.
weeks back, and I was in awe of it. That was my second time attending a concert of his. And then, you know, I also enjoy Taylor Swift. You know,
Okay.
my daughter, who's 7 years old, I came home today, and she was blasting this song that I have never heard before. But you know, she was singing it, so I guess I'm gonna end up being a bit of a Swiftie since my
A
little girl
Swifty.
is enjoying Taylor Swift so much. So,
I love it. I
you know,
love it. I
I
love it.
don't have any one particular type of music that I enjoy the most, but
No, 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 no. That's great. No, that's great. And then the last question is, what song is on repeat at the moment? Not
what
literally. What song is on repeat at the moment?
I listen to Christian rock.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so Good Father is one of my ultimate favorites, and
Good father.
yep, you're a
Okay.
good father. It's a wonderful song. If you haven't heard it, I would encourage you to listen to it. It is a great song. So that's like my pick me up every morning when I am on my own, driving to whatever location I'm working to in the morning. But on repeat, what I really have is the Troll soundtrack because I have two small kids. So Trolls, anything that is acceptable in lyric acceptable for my children is what we
Yes.
listen to.
Of course, of course. Well, my wife is probably watching. She's upstairs. She's probably watching. So we're gonna have to check out the what is it? Good. What was it again?
Good father.
Good father. So we'll probably check it out in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll text you, let you know. Um, Listen, Andrea, thank you so much for this time this evening. I know it's a little late, and you know we have kids and whatnot, so we got to get back to that. But thank you so much for this time. Thank you for you know just coming on and not only telling us about the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but telling us about yourself and letting us be able to get to know you and who you are. I really do appreciate this time.
Eddie, it has been an honor. Thank you so much. You're such a gracious host. I appreciate your time. Thank you for what you're doing. It really makes a difference in the community. People in a position of leadership like you in the Latin community can certainly make a difference, and you're making it a point to do so. So we appreciate your support. The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce welcomes all of you to come visit us, learn a little bit more about us, and see how we can serve you. We want to be part of your journey.
Of course, no, of course, it's my pleasure, and anything I could do to help, that I'm definitely here for it. Before we go, my wife actually she said love that song, so it looks
Yeah.
like she
Good
already knows.
Father by Chris Tomlin is the one.
It
Yeah.
it looks like she's already on top of it. That's that would be her. Again, Andrea, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye bye. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate your support. If you're just tuning in now, please make sure that you rewind this and watch the full interview. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for your support on YouTube. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and like the video as well. If you're listening to this on Spotify, if you're on Apple podcast, if you're on Amazon Music, wherever you're at listening to this, thank you so much for your support. Make sure that you like it and subscribe. It really is how I'm able to get more exposure, by you subscribing, and by liking it, right? So thank you so much for your support. This is important for us to do, because it's important for us to give exposure to those who are doing great things, right? I think that too often we get so caught up on the negativity and the things that are happening that we don't like, that we forget that there's so many great people and so many great things happening within our city, our state, and just in this world in general. And so that's why I do it, but I can't do it without you. So thank you so much for your support. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you go back and check out some of the previous interviews I've done. And if you check those out already, then just stay tuned, because we got some more interviews coming your way. Guys, thank you for your support, and don't forget, be transcendent.